Hi, I'm Richard Groeneveld, and I'm going to look at a couple of assessment methods with you. These are a couple ones that I like to use in my classroom. I teach computer science, so these are, a couple of them are for basic any type of assessment in any subject area. But there are a couple of them I use that are, or there is one, a specific one that I'd like to talk about as well that I use just for computer science. So what I want to do is I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that I use these. So first we're going to look at, the first one we're going to look at is, well, right now what I have up is my calendar for my computer science principles class, where I have all my links and things like that. And this is where I might post one of these assessments. And if you look here, you can post a video, and I might have a link in here to a Quizizz assignment or a Kahoot. So let's look at Quizizz first as one of the assessment methods. Now in Quizizz, what I do is I have my different courses off to the side, and I create collections. So if I have something that I use for computer science A or computer science principles, I'll drop it into that to make sure that it's easier for me to find. Because as you see, you continue to build all of these assessments, and the more and more assessments that you make, the harder it is to keep them all sorted out. So let's just say, for example, in computer science A, this one was one that I used earlier this semester on primitive types, the first unit for Java. In computer science principles, I have some exam reviews, and for the AP test review, things like that. Intro to digital technology, internet etiquette. Statistics. In statistics classes, sometimes I even have tests that I would give through Quizizz. Now, the great thing about Quizizz is you can assign it, you can watch the students do it in person, or you can have them do it on their own. You can assign as homework. So for example, if I wanted to take this graphs unit test, I can, we'll give it a minute to load. I can start a live quiz, and then, or I could assign it as homework for independent practice. So I could even give this to a student and say, well, if they miss class, I could pull it up and I could put a custom deadline. I could set the participant attempts at 1 or more. You can set up a timer. You can show the leaderboard. You can have the questions shuffled and answered. So there's so many good options as far as doing this as an individual lesson or an individual learning experience for the students, which I think is fantastic the way they have that set up, and it's all free. So this is one that I like to use. One other thing that I'm starting to explore in Quizizz is lessons. Apparently, that's a new thing that you can do, is Quizizz lessons. And if you can now create a lesson, and the lessons will, the kids can go through an entire lesson where you deliver content, and then they are quizzed on it, and you will actually get a report. Now, the reports in Quizizz are fantastic as well. So for example, this one right here, this one on internet etiquette that I did with my intro to digital technology students, you can see I can pull up all of this, and you can see their scores and check out how well they did. You can actually click on an individual student if you'd like to and see exactly which questions they missed. And you can download an Excel document, and I'm going to click that. Let me share the Excel document as soon as that loads. Well, let's see here. Here we are. And this is what the Excel document looks like, which has the actual questions here to the side. It has which answers each student chooses, okay, which is pretty clever. And then if you click on player level, it has just your basic data, which you can sort by name by grade, by when they did it. You can, since it is a plain old Excel document, you can sort it any way you need to, so that you can look at it. And that's the same thing for this. You could sort it, and you can see, for example, I can look and see which question people missed the most, and that is the question on bystander. So this is the people who didn't watch the video. They would miss that question because bystander in internet etiquette or in internet bullying, it has a different meaning than your traditional bystander meaning. And I'm not going to go over that because that's part of my lesson and you guys don't need that. Okay, so the next one I wanted to look at is Kahoot. So I use Kahoot as well, and it's quite a nice tool. So let's look at Kahoot next, and I'm going to switch to Kahoot. And here are some of my Kahoots. Introduction to logger. These are from my math classes that I used to teach a little bit more of statistics. I had a lot of those type of classes. And in Kahoot, you can organize them into folders. You can create new ones. You can get reports. So if I click on my reports, you can also see reports and data the same way, in a similar way to the other Quizizz. Now, the thing about Kahoots that's different is Kahoot is more for formative assessment, whereas Quizizz is I feel more versatile. You can use it for a formative assessment or a summative assessment. You could actually, I've actually even used it for formal assessments in the classroom if the content is the right type of content. And you could even put in free response questions and grade those as well in Kahoot or Quizizz. But I think it works a little bit better in Quizizz. Okay, now I know I was supposed to cover 2, but I'm going to throw in a bonus for everybody. And the bonus that I'm going to throw in is a computer science one. And this is specific to computer science. It is called Repl, okay? And as a teacher, I can create classrooms in Repl. And here's what I have. These are my classrooms that I have in Repl. And these are specifically for computer science. However, I have taught my statistics students some Python, and I've made them join a classroom and work in there. So just to show you how it works and how interesting and how fun this is as a student, I'm going to click on student, okay, and I'm going to go to one of my courses, and I'm going to show you. Let's just take this Python math-based one. Okay, we'll look at that, and I'm going to show you one particular activity. This one is completed already, but it is called the sum of 3 numbers. And if you look at this, let me take this, and it's taking a minute to load. There we go. This one, if you've completed the assignment, I have this particular one set up so that if you've completed the assignment, you can see the model solution. You can take your code and put it in and run it. And in this particular program, you have to give 3 numbers, and it'll add them up. And this is the code that I had to write in order to make that happen. And I thought that was, let me zoom it in a little bit. I thought that was pretty awesome, that you teach a kid to write code and then they can actually test it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unsubmit this and edit it. Okay. And now that it's unsubmitted, you can see how this actually will test code. So if I run the tests, it will say, oh, look at that. It passed all the tests, which means that the computer actually input numbers into my code and tested it out, make sure it worked. And if it passes all the tests, then you can click submit, and then it runs the tests and you submit. And this is a great way to teach coding. And I know it's specific for this particular subject area, but it's such a cool thing that I thought I'd share this as well. Okay, so Those are some methods of assessment and formative assessment and summative assessment that I use in my classroom, and I hope you enjoyed the share, and maybe you want to try them as well. Talk to you later.